This time, their mics could be muted, and this time it actually sounded like a debate. Last night saw the second and final televised head-to-head between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Democratic challenger, Joe Biden. The face-off in Nashville, Tennessee was much calmer and much more measured than last month's duel, which was plagued by angry interruptions and insults. Still, the topics were heated. Both candidates clashed on character, race, immigration, and of course the coronavirus crisis that's killed more than 220,000 Americans, more than anywhere else in the world.
We can't keep this country closed. This is a massive country with a massive economy. People are losing their jobs. They're committing suicide. There's depression, alcohol, drugs at a level that nobody's ever seen before. We're learning to live with it. We have no choice. We can't lock ourselves up in a basement like Joe does.
And as Trump claimed the country was rounding a corner and the virus would simply go away, Biden hit back.
He says that we're learning to live with it. People are learning to die with it. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially, anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America.
Professor Natasha Lindstedt is a political scientist and a deputy dean of education at the University of Essex in the UK. She says that while Trump didn't want the debate to be about the coronavirus, it kept coming up as Biden repeatedly took aim at the president's handling of the pandemic.
Well, it definitely was a debate that was more about policy than the first debate, but we remember the first debate was somewhat of a train wreck. They were just talking over one another. And the first debate was noted for the amount of lies made mostly by Trump. Now, this debate, Trump also engaged in a lot of falsehoods, as he normally did, but he was a little bit more measured than before. But I think the issue for Trump was that he needed to come away with a really big win here. He needed Biden to falter and to fall apart, and that really didn't happen here. We have 48 million people that have already voted. There are very few undecideds, and Trump was going to need to move people who were already going to vote for Trump away from him or to get some of these undecided people to vote for him. And he wasn't really speaking to the rest of the country, to all of the country. He was only really trying to cater to his base, and that's not really going to be enough for him to pull out a win.
So you don't see this debate being able to change voters' minds in any way?
No, I don't think it is going to really change people's minds. It was important for Biden not to fall apart and to remain presidential and to not take the bait. Trump did try to make the personal attacks, trying to attack Biden for being corrupt, trying to argue that he's a pawn of the left. But every time Trump tried to attack Biden on the issues of corruption or his own corruption or his family's corruption, Biden was pretty swift in responding, well, you need to release your tax returns before you start talking about corruption. So there was no big surprise that Trump could pull out of this debate that would really change the minds of voters.